All right, our good buddy, Tim Hasselbeck, we always love having him on. He makes us smarter. He appears on SportsCenter tonight after the Michigan-Washington game to break down the college football title game. All right, let me start there. Tell me how Washington wins this game.
I think Washington wins the game if Michael Penix Jr. plays the way he did last week, because look, his passing is special. I think when you look at him, his deep ball accuracy and what that means, if you can, have time to get the ball off, talented receivers, like that to me, Dan, is like the differentiator for them. Look at the two teams. Washington's quarterback, in terms of as a passer, accuracy down the field, he's special and he's different than the other side.
Okay. Michigan, it's pretty obvious how Michigan wins this game?
I think it's a bit of bully ball for them. Yeah. I mean, it's the physical team. And, saying that, like, it doesn't work the entire game. Much like the game last week, there does need to be a few plays. And so whether it's, something creative with a back out of the backfield or hiding somebody to get open, or, a really good catch on a play that's closely contested, something like that will need to happen for Michigan, a quarterback run, whatever. But yeah, that, like, they are who, we think they are.
Well, I was wondering, is it just a coincidence that Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh have similar teams this year?
Listen, I think probably the household they grew up in, maybe some things were instilled in them in terms of what we truly believe works. Yeah, and really, I think if you were to look at their coaching careers in general, and every team's different, Jim had Andrew Luck at one point, and they're pretty good at throwing the football, but they also ran the heck out of the football with Toby Gerhart too, right? Like, I think that these guys have definitely had a personality to their football teams that's been consistent.
Any inkling one way or another, the result, the impact it'll have on Harbaugh's future?
I would just totally be speculating, but I do think that a lot of college coaches, when they climb to the mountaintop in college football, start to get curious about, well, could I do this again at the next level? Like you and I have talked before about, like, I played for Steve Spurrier. Like, he just had a lot of success. I think there's always going to be curiosity when you get to the top in college football.
Yeah, but control. College coaches love control, but they don't have that control anymore.
Mm-hmm. No, that's 100% true. The environment is different, but as much as coaches will say, and I think a lot of coaches truly believe this, like, hey, the logo on your polo, like, that doesn't say anything about what type of coach you are. But listen, Bill Belichick, if he were to have accomplished what he accomplished with the Patriots in college football, people wouldn't say, like, hey, that's the best coach of all time, right? Like, they would say, well, I wonder if he could do that in the NFL. So it doesn't matter to me if it was Steve Spurrier, Nick Sabin, Chip Kelly, Jim Harbaugh. Like, I think the conversation around it at the highest level that the sport is played, and these guys are competitive. I think at some point it's somewhere in their brain of, could I have that same success at the top?
Okay, but Sabin was not successful in the NFL, but he's considered the greatest college coach of all time. Not the greatest coach, but is he in the conversation of greatest coach of all time, in your opinion?
Well, probably for what I just said, probably not, right?
Okay, yeah.
Because I think there's also an element that we would probably say, and not every coach took the same path of, like, hey, he coached in college and then he coached in the pros. But, some guys have had that crossover. I think many people would say, well, look, Belichick would have had similar success in college. He's just that good, that innovative, that good of a game day coach. He would have surrounded himself with good coaches. So, but because he's done it at the highest level, and we're talking about winning Super Bowls, yeah, I think that, it's a natural thing to say it for him, but not say it for somebody that's had similar success, but at the college level.
If you had the number one pick in the NFL draft, you would take?
Drake Maye.
Drake Maye.
And I think I told you guys that probably before the season started, and his season wasn't probably what I thought that it would be or what he thought that it would be. But this next phase of the evaluation process, Dan, is everyone's going to love him. Like there's his competitiveness, his intelligence, his physical ability, the things that you can measure, the care factor for him. I was like all of it. Everyone's going to look at it and say, like, in terms of leading your franchise, like there aren't going to be things that give you pause. They're not going to pop up.
Yeah, but it felt like he was under the radar this year. And we didn't expect him to be great. We expected Caleb Williams in USC to be great this year. And Caleb did it. Caleb was great this year. When you consider that defense was horrible, he kept them in games. It felt like with Drake Maye, we're like, oh, that's right, Drake Maye. We didn't hold him to the same standard, I think, as we did some of these other quarterbacks. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, probably expectation of the program. Obviously a lot surrounding USC, what we thought they would be offensively, and then maybe how bad the defense was. That's probably, kind of alarming. And, and then just like post-game reaction stuff that generated criticism that, I think was, probably surprising for some. And I would say this for, look, Carolina's program was not the same. Like it wasn't. And they had to change an offensive coordinator. So I think there was a lot to all of that stuff.
But does the Mitch Trubisky career have anything, is there any impact on Drake Maye? If you're the Bears, would you have pause of drafting another North Carolina quarterback?
No, because I think the skill set, the experience, this guy checks every box, so it does not. Whereas with Trubisky, there was limited starts. There was, there were other things to say. Like we definitely are projecting. And now look, we're projecting with all of these guys. Like anybody who acts like they're not is lying. Like we projected with Justin Fields, we projected with Jared Goff, Matt Stafford, like projected with Brock Purdy. We're projecting, right? Like I think it was Chip Kelly's comment. Like quarterbacks are a little bit like tea bags. Like you can think you're getting green tea, but like until you put it in the hot water, like you're not really sure like what exactly it is. But with Drake Maye, like when you go through the process and you see the ability and all of that stuff and the competitive nature, the intelligence, all of that, there aren't going to be similarities to Mr. Trubisky.
He's Tim Hasselbeck, ESPN, ACC football analyst, former NFL quarterback. All right, explain this to me. You being a backup quarterback for most of your career, you're in a game, victory formation.
Yeah, that was really nice. It was all of my career.
I know. Oh, I was trying to be respectful.
Golly, that you turned over a new leaf in 2024. You're really soft with Hasselbeck.
My bad.
Not only was I a career back, like in my own family, I'm the backup quarterback.
You're not even the best quarterback in your own family. Okay.
So that was very kind. Thank you.
Okay. Explain to me, Jameis Winston goes in, victory formation, run out the clock, you won the game, and he decides he's going to change the play, and they run in for a touchdown. And he stands by that it was a team decision, even though Dennis Allen said victory formation. How does that work?
Well, I mean, the way it works is they send in, Pete Carmichael Jr. sends in, hey, victory, and that's what you should do. And Jameis, being one of one for sure, says
that's very nice on your part there. A one of one. New Year's resolution, you're being nice too. One of one. Okay.
And in fairness, how Jameis came into the league versus how a backup quarterback like myself came into the league, I would have knelt the ball down. And Jameis, probably maybe with a little more creativity and willingness to take a chance, saying, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. And truth be told, on the timing of it, there's no way that was a team consensus. I think, look, I actually don't think this is as clear cut as maybe people would think that I think that it is.
What do you mean?
I think they should have knelt the ball down.
Yeah.
However, there is an element of look, this is pro football and you're paid to stop the other team. And we just had a week where we're talking about incentives and we're talking about rewarding guys that, don't always get the same opportunities. And so could there be an environment where that team, that locker room would love to see him score? Yes, absolutely. And would feel, no sympathy to the Atlanta Falcons for trying to do that. Now saying all of that, I do think in the culture of your football team, if you're going to do something like that, victory formation comes in, you say, hey, DA, Dennis Allen, we'd love to get him a score. Okay. Can we do this? I think you have time to have that conversation.
I think if they didn't line up in the victory formation, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think they would have had they addressed it with the coaching staff.
Yeah. I felt bad for Dennis Allen going out there to midfield, and Arthur Smith wants to give him a piece of, he knows he's going to get fired. And he's going to, say, and Dennis Allen's like, hey, I'm sorry about that. Not my fault. Blame Jameis there.
Well, and Jameis's reaction after he kind of copped to the situation,
Yeah.
that was probably not ideal.
No,
either.
it wasn't. No. If he said, look, I went rogue, it's on me, I take the blame, but I wanted to get my guy a touchdown there. Okay. By the way, who do you have tonight?
So I think Michigan wins the football game tonight.
All right. Close?
I do think it's close because they to me don't seem like they're blowing Washington out with Washington's ability to stay competitive, especially with the passing game.
Yeah. God, I hope it's a great title game. This last go-round of the Final Four, I just hope we get treated. And the last game for a Pac-12 team. Yeah.
Sure.
I hope.
And how great was last weekend? The game got over so late. Scott was looking at me. He's like, "Man, this is late." And if games are going to be like this, we can do them at 3 a.m. If they'll finish like that.
Have fun tonight. Thank you, Tim.
I appreciate it. See you, Dan.
That's Tim Hasselbeck, ESPN ACC Network football analyst, former NFL quarterback. He'll be with Scott Van Pelt after the national title game on SportsCenter.